Taoiseach, probably the most monstrous invention of humanity are nuclear weapons. But coming fairly close behind it are cluster munitions. And as you know, this country was the locale and one of the major promoters of the Cluster Munitions Convention to ban them, with more than 100 countries signing up to it. And then we have this weekend the spectacle of US President Joe Biden talking about, quote, the very difficult decision to give Ukraine cluster munitions, which spread explosives over wide areas and leave things on the ground that explode, that are picked up by children, that blow kids' arms and legs off, and so on. They are a disgusting, vile weapon that this country has been part of calling for a ban from. Used by Russia, of course, disgustingly. But now it seems the United States think it is okay, and Ukraine think it is okay, to use these disgusting, vile, immoral weapons. Now, I'd like to ask Taoiseach, you know, you talked about the strategic compass. Where's the moral compass in the European Union to say this is absolutely outrageous that anybody would consider using these disgusting, horrific, barbaric weapons, and that our so-called allies in the United States or Ukraine would consider using these things? I hope you're going to speak out, Taoiseach, and I hope you're going to say a little bit more than you're concerned about the use of these weapons. They are vile, and we should speak out in the loudest terms against their deployment by anybody, but particularly by people that regularly we talk about as being allies.
Thank you, Deputy Prime Minister.
In terms of cluster munitions, I understand they're being used by both Ukraine and Russia in the war at the moment. That is absolutely wrong. Ireland, as a country, have been leaders on this issue. Minister Coveney took a particular interest in it during his time as Minister for Foreign Affairs, and we're one of the countries that has signed up to the convention banning cluster munitions. They are terrible weapons. They do inflict an inordinate amount of harm on civilians, and they can be left around for years and cause injuries later, similar to landmines. A really awful weapon, and we totally disagree with the United States decision to provide cluster munitions to Ukraine. I've said that publicly already. Want to put on the record of the House here, and we will say that directly to the US authorities when the opportunity arises. And I know our colleagues in the UK and in the European Union take the same view. There will be, I hope this war ends soon, but what is certain is that there will be people injured by those weapons long after the war has ended, as we've seen in Vietnam and Bosnia and other places. I've seen demining operations in Colombia, and I really think it is a profoundly wrong decision to provide those weapons.